In our mad, mad world, it's with increasing frequency that I come across a news tip from a whistleblower or even a press release. And after digesting the contents, I ask myself, there's no way this can be for real. I know for a fact that I'm not the only one questioning reality these days, pondering aloud whether I'm residing on planet Earth or that maybe I'm trapped in the Twilight Zone. Indeed, some stories these days, the only thing missing is Rod Serling in the corner smoking a cigarette and providing narration. I say I'm not the only one having difficulty determining if it's real or if it's Memorex, so to speak, because I'd wager that many of you are aware of the Babylon Bee, a cheeky and often hilarious satirical website. The Babylon Bee slogan is fake news you can trust. Brilliant. But a few years ago, the creators of the Babylon Bee felt compelled to launch an additional website called Not the Bee. Like the Babylon Bee, Not the Bee is a humor-based news, opinion, and entertainment website, but with one huge difference. As the name suggests, the absurd content is not satire, but rather real bona fide news. For example, here's a story I plucked from yesterday's edition. Quote, Minneapolis is paying a witness of George Floyd's death $150,000 for emotional damages. Seriously, end quote. What is more batshite crazy here, folks, that the emotionally scarred eyewitness, Donald Williams, is getting a six-figure payout, or that Mr. Williams happens to be a mixed martial arts fighter? Now, I might be wrong, but I would reckon that someone involved in the kick-ass MMA business is made of pretty stern stuff. And I'm pretty sure that in the squared circle, Donald Williams has seen his fair share of carnage. But apparently not, just for stating that his sensibilities were affected by an ugly incident. Well, the city of Minneapolis gets out its checkbook and compensates this eyewitness to the tune of $150,000 US. And a story like that justifies the necessity for Not to Be. The point is that real news has caught up to and even overtaken satire and parody. This is the reason why I think Mad Magazine, which used to be a money spinner, went out of business some 5 years ago. Just look at the madness that has made the headlines. For instance, can anyone actually still believe that former Oakville shop teacher Kerry Lemieux regularly showed up in class sporting enormous Z-cup breasts, which he actually said were real boobs and not prosthetics? Yeah, Kayla was suffering from a very rare medical condition, you see, until he wasn't suffering from that very rare medical condition. Remember our encounter with him at a Burlington shopping mall last April?
I thought your breasts were real. Where are your breasts? Why are you dressing inappropriately in front of children?
Folks, I've been practicing journalism for almost 40 years now, and never did I ever imagine that I would utter the query, where are your breasts? Anyway, the Z Cups were AWOL that day, only to return again on another day, and then it was really thanks for the memories as Lemieux's ginormous breasts disappeared apparently once and for all. Currently, Busty Lemieux has transitioned into Bearded Lemieux, and he now still teaches at a school in Hamilton. But the question arises, why has this fraudster not been fired with cause? I mean, he lied about having a disability, a medical condition that clearly never existed. In any event, if I didn't have to be here at Rebel News World Headquarters in order to guest host for the Big Boss Man this evening, my original plan was to go down to Cambridge, Ontario. That's because I received a tip that a Cambridge school is hosting a parent-teacher night. Nothing new or exciting about that, really, except that this meet and greet session is exclusively for the, quote, families and caregivers of African and Caribbean and Black identifying ACB students, end quote. It's billed as Black Parent Information Night Cambridge, and it's taking place at the Galt Collegiate Institute and Vocational School. It is being staged by the Waterloo Region District School Board and something called Blues Cambridge. I don't know about you, but I thought racial segregation was an ugly thing of the past. Apparently not. And by the way, why did the loony left become so downright insane? Decades ago, the left, when it was dominated by classical liberals as opposed to Marxists, was all about stamping out racism, such as organizing a boycott, divestment, sanction campaign successfully against South Africa when that nation operated under the odious political system of apartheid. But now the left is all about new apartheid, segregating people into various silos based along racial lines and gender lines. Unbelievable. Anyway, yesterday I reached out to the school board's media relations team with the following 6 questions. 1. What is the ostensible policy reason for having a racially segregated parent information night? 2. Given that this event is indeed segregated by race, is this not a form of racism given that others are excluded? 3. Are there going to be other parent information nights based on race, i.e. Asian, Caucasian, etc.? 4. Will there be other parent information nights based on religion and sexual orientation identification? 5. I am curious what Black identifying means. Does this mean that someone who is not Black but identifies as Black would be allowed to attend? And 6, I notice one of the topics up for discussion is progressive discipline. Can you inform me what this means? Alas, folks, it's radio silence, even though you would think that a publicly funded school board would be accountable to parents, taxpayers, and the press, but no. And while it is bad enough that the board is channeling a form of apartheid light here, I'm really curious about that bit regarding someone who is not Black but identifies as Black. What does that mean exactly? I mean, I thought race was that line in the sand when it comes to the wackadoodle progressives and their obsession with identifying as fill in the blank. Exhibit A, that early victim of cancel culture known as Rachel Dolezal. Remember her? Well, more on Rachel in just a moment. But when it comes to this identification business, I must ask aloud, what are the rules in 2024 when it comes to pretending to be someone or something that you are not?